Just like the drop shot rig, the Bight Rig is a rig designed to tackle fish when they're hiding in inaccessible places. I've had a lot of success with it, so I thought I'd share with you the results of an ordinary little trip. Nothing special, just a day where I wanted to get some enjoyment out of using light tackle. See what you think.
So we're down at Brixham Breakwater this afternoon, and we're just going to have a go with some light rock fishing gear. I've got a little kinetic rod, a little Explorer Rockfish 225, and I've matched that up with an old Snowbee reel, a little Snowbee Raptor. So it's a nice combination. Now the idea is, I am not going to use little bits of plastic lure. I'm going to use bait, and I'm going to use a little rig that I devised called the Bight Rig. Now to start the Bight Rig, basically all I need is a length of 10-pound breaking strain fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon is a prismatic fishing line, so once it's sunk underneath the water, it's more or less invisible. So I'm going to take one end of this, and I'm going to do a perfectly straightforward figure of 8 loop, or if it's tied in the middle of a trace, a blood bite loop. They're the same thing, just different positions. The blood bite loop is the easiest way of tying it. You make a loop, you bring the loop round on itself, hold it pinched together, then what you do is you come through the middle of the loop and over the other side. You then pull back on the piece that you brought over, go under and back through the middle, and what you should see is a figure of 8 like that. Wet it before you pull tight, and that's one part of the tackle done. So I'm just going to trim that down loosely, about 4mm away from the end. And now from here, I'm going to connect that up to a piece of heavier nylon. And this heavier nylon is actually put onto the braid that I'm using. So I can just put this loop-to-loop connection, and as I do, that's just joined me on a piece of 10-pound breaking strain onto 17-pound, which I use for my link. Now from here, I'm going to make the rest of the Bight Rig. So I take the long length and I fold it back, so I've got about 3 foot of line folded in half. I'm going to leave a short piece there, and now I'm going to do a very long bite loop. Make a loop through the middle, over the other side, and then back through the middle again. As I pull tight, that will make one very large loop. The little bit that's here, that's going to be for the drop shot. What I need to do though is make sure that the swivel here is tight enough that it doesn't fall off too easily. A little bit of a tug, it'll come off, but not fall off at the drop of a hat. So that's that bit connected onto there. Still got a big loop. So I'm going to take one side of my loop here. I'm just going to cut it, and now I've got this long trailing piece of nylon. So I'm going to take one of these, a little buoyant bead. Rather than spend a lot of money on them, I'm afraid I got mine from Temu, and I can just slide that along the loop to wherever I want. I'm now going to take an Aberdeen. A lot of people like using size 8 and smaller. I don't particularly. For me, I'm not really after mini species, so we're bound to catch some. I'm more after the largest fish that will take on the lightest tackle. So I'm going to do a 3-turn revised grinner, 3 turns around the main line, back through the burst twist. You've seen this on my other videos. If you haven't, there is a video on the revised grinner and the original grinner. You can find out from there. Bring it into a circle 3 times around the doubled strands, and then before I fully tighten, I need to moisten the line, and then I can pull up before I bring it down like that. And that basically is my Bight rig. I'm going to bring this bead a little bit back to there. Now what happens is that with a little bit of bait that I'm going to use on this, it will come up in water, and when I twitch the rod, it'll pull it down. So it will rise, twitch, rise, twitch, and that should hopefully attract the wrasse to it. So I've got here a size 4 Aberdeen, a lot bigger than many people use. As I say, I'm not terribly interested in mini species, although I think we probably will get some. So I'm going to pop that on, and then working on the theory that there might be a big one down there, I'm going to put on a second worm. They got pincers at the end, so you need to go through the pincers and then just thread it up like a piece of spaghetti. And as you do, that bit of ragworm will become a delightful little meal for any fish that's directly in front of me. So there, that's my bait, and there's my Bight rig. So now, I'm just going to pop this in the water, and I'm going to see what happens. Might be lucky, might not. We shall see. And if I put my glasses on, I will actually be able to see something. So the thing with this one, you don't have to worry about huge distances. Quite often the fish will come in very close to where you're fishing. So I'm just going to take this now. Someone's thrown a huge log in the water straight in front of me, so I should try to avoid that. And then from here, I'm just going to do a gentle flick. So I'm just going to bring the rod tip low. Very, very slow wind. Oh, there we go, I'm on the bottom. So from here, a little touch straight away then. Didn't get through to that one. I suspect that was one of the mini species. So let's just do that again. Such a gorgeous day today. Again, trap the line on my finger. Let that go down, keeping it tight. Keep it right tight to the bottom. As soon as you start to get any curve in the line, you'll feel when it's touched the bottom and you're able to move. So just from here, I'm working the rod tip right down close to the water. I can get maximum feeling out of it. And then, with that one, you can just bring up, strike him when you get a bite, and here we go, a little babby just to start the day. If you look at this one, you can see with the larger hook, catches it beautifully in the mouth, doesn't go inside like many of the smaller hooks do. And then from here, it's a lovely little ballon rest. So I shall just take that off. Sweet little thing. What I do need to do is make sure he goes back in safely. A lot of people make the mistake when they're putting fish back, they actually use just a lob, even a gentle lob will still stun the fish. If you use your landing net, you can pop the fish in and then just a gentle rotation, and as you can see, straight off, absolutely no problems whatsoever. And that's what we need to see. We need to see the fish going back in carefully and being looked after. Yeah, no, you don't ever with wrasse, or as few species as possible, do you throw them back. But if you use a landing net, you can let it down into the water, and then just a gentle turn, and you'll see from there he's perfectly fine, and he'll just take himself out the way normally. Okay. Well, you try not to get the feces, but every so often, the oldie Tom Popball, and he comes in for a munch. They got really sharp little teeth. You got to watch them.
And that was it. Over the course of the afternoon, we'd been there for about 2 hours and we'd caught about 14 fish. Some of them were ballan wrasse, some of them were corkwing wrasse, there was even some pout and some pollock. All in all, it was pretty good fun, especially on the light tackle. Hopefully, it'll give you an idea of what the tackle is all about, and perhaps one day you might like to try it for yourselves. I hope you do. It could be very good fun. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day, you really enjoy the rest of it, and if you would like to subscribe to our channel, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you for your time, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.